Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's easy level puzzle called Homemade Crust by Andrew Sarchis. Excuse me. And remember, this is easy according to Logic Masters Germany, which is a website where there's a whole bunch of very good variant Sudoku solvers, so take that with a grain of salt. Here are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply, which means place the digits 1 through 9 once each in every row, column, and box. A home cell is defined as a cell which contains a digit equal to its cell position within its box. Okay, so a home cell is defined as a cell which contains a digit equal to its cell position. So I would assume that the cell position is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 within this box. Because the boxes are, I don't know what cell position is usually, but boxes are usually defined. This is 1, this box is 2, this box is 3, etc. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, etc., etc. So, So I would assume that the cells work the same way. So for box 2, this is 1, 2, 3. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And a home cell is defined when the cell which contains a digit equal to its cell position. So for example, if this were 5, that would be considered a home cell. If this were a 7, that would be considered a home cell. But if it were like 6, it would not, obviously. And if this were 5, it would not, because it's not the seventh cell. Or sorry, it's not the fifth or sixth cell. Each row, column, and box contains exactly 2 home cells. So every row has 2, every column has 2, and every box has 2 home cells. Okay. These cells will be used as the crusts for the sandwich. Interesting. Okay. So each row, each column, and each box contains exactly 2 home cells, and those cells will be used as the identifiers for the crust for the sandwiches. The clues outside of the grid are sandwich clues. They contain the sum of the digits strictly between the crusts, that is, the home cells, in the indicated row or column. So, if, say, this were a home cell and this were a home cell, the digits in between must add up to 28 because of this 28. Similarly, if this were a crust and this were a crust, they would have to add up to 7. These two specifically, because the 7 designates that. And that's a normal, so the sandwich clue is normally usually between the digits 1 and 9, but for this iteration, it's actually between the home cells, quote unquote, which we defined earlier. Anyways, very interesting rule set. I like it, actually. Those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. Now, I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay, I'm not really sure how to target this, really. Okay, so for each of column 8 and 9, since the value in between, the sandwich value is a 1, that means the crust has to be in one square, followed by the 1, and followed by the next crust square. Maybe we should just label all the crust squares. Okay, so if it's a crust, it's a 1, a 2, a 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So this is the same. Oh, interesting. So we know there's 2 in each column. And I think, so yeah, this is actually kind of similar to this disjoint set rules, but not quite. So one of these is 1. Right, so these are all... So these right now I'm doing is I'm filling in all the home cell possibilities, right? This is 4. Maybe we should put this in the corner. That might be better. Let's just delete everything then. Actually, I could just, yeah. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. We add these. These have to be 5. Delete. We add these. This would be 6. Delete these. These have to be 7. These would have to be 8. And these would have to be 9. Okay, that's interesting. So this is interesting because either it's 7, 9 or 7, 8. Excuse me. So this is specifically interesting because it has to have 7, 8, or 9 as the crusts here. And if that's the case, say you have 7 and... Can you have 8 and 9 as the crust? If you have 8 and 9 as the crust, it would have to be 8 here. I think it would... Yeah, 8 could not be in the middle. So if you have 8 and 9 as the crust, well, I guess you could potentially. If you have 8 and 9 as a crust, that would mean that the 7... It would have to be... So the 45... The rest of the numbers would add up to 28, because it's 45 minus 17, because 8 and 9 add up to 17. So then you would have a 2 outside. So this could be the case. This could be an 8, and that would be 9, and then this would be 2. Right? So that is valid. But that's the only valid case, right? Because if that's 9 and this is 8, then you have 3 digits that are outside, which you can't because it would have to add up to 2. And then any other case, it just doesn't work. So 8 and 9 does have a value. So it would be 8 and 9, and then that's 2 here. And then 1 through 6 would be 1... All the other numbers from 1 through 6 besides 2 and 7... Sorry, 1 through 7 besides 2 would be there. What else? So that's if it's 8 and 9 at the corners. What if it's 7 and 9 at the corners? The 7 and 9 cannot be those two. The 7 and 9 cannot be those two because then you would have to have... So 7 and 9 is 16, so 45 minus 16 is 29. So you only have 3 outside. So these 3 numbers would have to add up to 3, and that doesn't work. Similarly, this 7 and 9 doesn't work because there's 4 digits outside, and it would still have to add up to 26. And without a 7 or 9 possible, you have 8654 is the minimum. Actually, it would be 865, and so that could never be 26. It couldn't be 26 anyways with 3 digits, so this wouldn't work. So 7 and 9 does not work, right? If 7 and 9 is here, then it should be the full 29 in the middle. If this is 7 and this is 9, or this is 9 and this... If this is 7 and that's 9, that doesn't work. Obviously, if you have 7 and 9 here, So this 7, 9 doesn't work because there's 3 digits, there's 4 digits in between. So it would have to be a minimum of 8 plus 6 plus 5 plus, or maximum of 8 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4. So then that would be 23 in the middle, which doesn't work. If there's only 4 digits in between, there obviously can't be 1 digit in between because that would not add up to 26. There can't be 3 digits in between. So 7 and 9 just does not work. What about 7 and 8? 7 and 8 could work. Again, 8 and 9, the only one that works is this 8 and that 9 because you have to have you have a difference of 2 between the 1 through 7 added up and the sandwich clue. Therefore, 8 and 9, it would have to be that's 8 and that's 9 and that's 2. 7 and 8, I think, works because you could have 7 and 8 here. That's 15. And then you would have a 4 outside. Right? So then 45 minus 7 and 8 is 30. So then, yeah, you need just 1 on the outside, and that would be 4. But you can't have more than 1. Or so you can't have more than 2. But the thing is 7 and 8 can never have only 2 on the outside. It can only have 1. So for this one, we know now either this is 8. So, okay, so all the possibilities are these are not valid crust cells. It has to be one of these two. So either this is 8 and this is 9 and this is 2, or I think this has to be 7, 8, and this is 4, right? Because if you have a 7 anywhere else, if you have 7 here, if you have 7 with other 8s, that's 0. This would be 9 plus 6 plus 5 at most, which would be 20. If this is 7 and this is 8, you have 3 outside, which cannot add up to 4. Because they're unique digits, and it's normal Sudoku. So yeah, it has to be this combination. So the 8 is always one of these two. So the 8 is always here. One of those two. The rest we don't know. So either this is the crust or this is the crust. Interesting. So that's for 26 in this row. This has to be 7 and 9 together, but it's 5 at most. So that means what's in between the crust has to be either 1 cell or 2 cells. So it could be 7, 9, and this is 5. It cannot be this 7 with that 9. But the thing is, it could be any 7, 9 combination, right? And then the 5 would be in the middle. So that doesn't work too well. Could be even the 8, 7 with a 9 in the middle, or with a 5 in the middle. It cannot be, oh. It has to be it has to be a 5 in between 2 crusts, right? Because you cannot ever have, if it's 7 and 8, obviously that doesn't work. This is an 8 and a 7 separated by 1. 0 doesn't work. 8 and 7 separated by 1, so that works also. If you have 7 and 9 as a crust, there has to be 7 and 9 here, but the 9, 7 doesn't work here. It's always a difference of 1. And then if you have 8, 9, this has to be 9 or 8. This is 9 or 8. This is 9 or 8. So we know it can never be 2 apart, because if it's 2 apart, that would be 7 and 7. This would be 8 and 8, and that just doesn't, yeah, you can't have 2 8s in the same row or 2 7s in the same row. So we know the 5 has to be one of these 7, and it has to be in between the 2 crusts. Okay. Do we have anything similar? I think... No. This is not similar. It could be 2. Oh, wait, but it can't be 2. You can't have a difference of 2 either here. Right? Same problem. You can have a difference of 3. 3 works. So it doesn't have to be 7. Right? You could have 5 and 6. 5 and 6, and then you have 1, 2, 4 in between. Yeah, that could work. So this is the crust of one. This is the crust of another. If this is the crust of one, we have, say this was the crust, right? Then this would be 8. It would be with either 2 or 5, and then the 1 would be one of these two. If this is the crust, this would have to be a 9. And say that would have to be 3, or this would be 6, and then you would have a 2 in one of these two spots. Don't know if that's helpful. 25, actually 28. 28. How many digits have to be in between for 28? You could have 4. So right, it's 5, 7, 8. No, 5, 4, 7, 8, 9, or 5, 6, 8, 9 has to be in between for 4 digits. So if it's here, it could be here. Wait, no, it cannot be here. So this one is not valid. So the 4 digits in between would have to be at least here to here, here and here, at least here and here, and at least here and here, which means this can never be a crust. So that's not possible to be a crust. 1 and 3 works. Can you ever have 1 and 2 on the outside? Can it ever be 6? I don't think so, right? No, it can't be 6 because that would be at best it would be 1 plus at the least, sorry. It would be 1 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8. And 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 is 30. And so it's 31 minimum if you have 6 in between the crusts. So usually it would have to be 4. Could it ever be 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? No. So it has to be 4. So we know 8 or 9 have to be here also, right? It has to be a set of 4. It has to be a set of 4. So the 8 or 9 has to be in between that. It cannot be a set of 5 because then you would have a 1 and a 1 being crust, and they would be obviously in the same row, so that wouldn't work. Or you have a 2 and a 2, or a 3 and a 3. Interesting. So this crust in row 2 has to have a difference of, the crust has to be 1 apart or 3 apart. It can never be 2 apart. Here, 25. Again, it cannot be 5 apart because that doesn't work. It could be 4 apart. Can it be 6 apart? I don't think so. Right, it can't be 6 apart. It could be 4 apart, but it cannot be 3 apart. So again, this is a similar set as this top one, right? Because it can't be 5 apart, because then you would have a 1, 1, or 2, 2, or a 3, 3 there, and that doesn't work. It cannot be 6, because of the same reason we have for the 28. If it's 6, it would be minimum value of 1 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8, which would be 31. So it has to be, and it cannot be 3 because 25 is greater than, if you have 3 digits adding up to a number, the max you can have is 24. So it would also have to be 4 in between. So this could not be a crust either. So 8 and 9 have to be in between again. but that doesn't really tell us too much. 31. Now 31's interesting. It cannot, again, so none of the rows can have crusts that are 5 apart, that have 5 digits in between them, shall we say. So this cannot be 4 in between. This has to be 6. It cannot be 5 because of, just normal. And it can't be 7, right? Because if it's 7, then it's the full, it would have to be at least 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 7, 8, 9. That would be 34. And that's not possible. So it always has, this one also always has to have 6 in between. Okay, that's interesting. So it always has to have 6 in between. So say it's a 4 and a 5. That would be 9. So the rest of it would be 35? Is that right? If you have 34 and 5. Okay, so if you have 34 and 5, 45 minus 9 is 36. Sorry, 36. But you can only have 6 in between. You can never have 5 in between. So you can never have 2 that are left over. So if you have 4 and 5, that would also mean that the 5 would have to be outside, which doesn't work. 31. So 4 and 5 does not work. 4 and 6 gives you 10. So that would be 45 minus 10 is 35. But 3 digits cannot add up to 1, 2, or 3. So it cannot be 4, 6. So it has to be 5, 6. Right? If it's 5 and 6, that means you have 45 minus 11. So that would be 34. So then the 3 would be outside. Yes, so that actually does work. So it has to be, this is 5, this is 6, and therefore this is 3. And these are the crusts then. So since these are the crusts, there cannot be any crust in between, any more crust in between. So this neutralizes these values. Oops. These values. This can't be 3 anymore. These can't be... I don't know why I have the 5 there. That's weird. This can't be 5, and this can't be 5, and this can't be 6, and this can't be 6. Interesting. So this is the only one that fits the 31, right? Because you have 14 on the outside. This is a home cell. That's a home cell. Since this is a home cell, it must be only one away from the other home cell. So therefore, this has to be the home cell, which means this is a 9. And this has to be 2, because it cannot obviously go down. So this can't be 2. This can't be 2. And this can't be 2. This can't be 9. This can't be 9. And this can't be 9. There's no 9 here. And this can't be 9. So this cannot be the home cell. So the other cells in column 9 cannot be the home cells anymore. So therefore, this has to be the 4. And this has to be the home cell, which is an 8. And this is a home cell, which is a 7. So we can remove this. This is not a home cell. This can't be 8. This can't be 8. And this can't be 8. And this can't be 8. This can't be 4 anymore. This can't be 7. And this can't be 7. So the 5, okay, so this cannot be a home cell, which means that can't be 5. So the 5 is one of those 4. This is an 8. So the home cell has to be either here or here. So it would be a 2 or 5, and we don't know which. So one of these two is potential home cell. Let's make it pink. Then we can change it. So these cannot be. Or actually, I guess we'll just not make it pink, but make everything else gray. So then the 1 has to be one of these two in this column. So again, this is 15 plus 19. 45 minus 19 is 26, so that works. This cannot be the home cell, so that's out. 28. It has to be 4 in between. So since this can't be the home cell, if this were a home cell, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this cannot be a home cell because it can't be with either side now. One of the home cell, well, we don't know. That could, oh no. Both of these cannot be the home cell. So this, oh, this can't be the home cell. So this can't be 5 either. Okay. So either this is 8, 7, and this is 5, which is not possible. So this cannot be the home cell. If this is the home cell, that's 8 and 7. This would have to be 5, and that's not possible. If it's 9 and 8, this is 5. This can't be the home cell, so this can't be 5 then either. So then we have the 5 here, which means the 5 has to be one of these two. So it's either 9, 8, and this is 5, 7, 9, and this is 5, 8, and 7, or that's 5. Let's see. This is a home cell. One of the 1 or 4s is. We don't know which. One of the 1s is here. This can't be a 3 anymore. Okay, so let's fill these in and eliminate possibilities for home cells. So we have, what is this? Oops. This is 1, could be 1, 3, 5, 7, or 8. The 8 cannot obviously be there. This can't be 3 because it would be a home cell. This can't be 3 because of a home cell. I think that's it. So the 1 has to be one of these two. 7. This can't be a home cell because it can't be 4. So one of these is the home cell. There's no other home cell in box 3, right? This can't be a home cell because of the sandwich clue. We already have 2 home cells in column 9. This can't be the home cell because the 4 is no longer valid. This can't be the home cell because the 7, we have two home cells already in row 3, so that can't be the home cell. Therefore, one home cell has to be one of these two. If it's that one, it has to be 4-way. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, or sorry, 4 in between. So that would be 2. So if this is 1, that's 2. If this is 2, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be 3. So those are the only valid home cells. So then this cannot be 8 or 9. The 8 or 9 has to be in between one of these. This cannot be 9. Okay, so then one of these two is a home cell. This cannot be a home cell. This cannot be a home cell. Okay, so then we have 2 home cells here, right? There's no home cells that can be here. There's no home cells that can be here. There has to be 2 in box 6, or box 2, sorry. So these can't be home cells. Therefore, we know specifically this is a 4, a 6, and a 7. And so these cannot be home cells. Or this can't be, yeah. This can't be 7. There's no more 4 here. There's no more 6. These are the home cells. And this cannot be. So you have 16 in between. This cannot be a home cell, so this can't be 3, obviously. So it's either one of these two. If it's 9, that doesn't work because you can't fit 16 in there. So if it's 3, this has to be the home cell, and it has to be 3. So there cannot be any other home cells here. So this can't be a home cell, which means this cannot be a 5 then. So the 5 is one of those two. So this can't be a home cell. This can't be a home cell. This has to add up to 16. So this is 2 or that's 2. This can't be a home cell, so let's delete the 1 and 2 from there. Oh, the 1 could be there. This can't be a home cell. Why can't it be a home cell? Oh yeah, because of the same logic as this row. And in addition, we know it's 4 in between, right? So if this is a home cell, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's not possible. Oh, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's not possible. So this cannot be a home cell, which means it can't be 1. If this is a home cell, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be 2, and that would be 1. I think that's the only combination that works. So then we know this is a home cell. So this is a 2, this is a 1. There's no 1s here. There's no 1s here. This is a home cell. This is a home cell. Yeah, because it's the only one that fits 4 in between. So this cannot be 2 and cannot be the home cell. So this has to be the home cell, which makes that a 3. This can't be a home cell and it can't be 1. So this has to be a 2 in the home cell. So this can't be a home cell. This has to be a 1 here. So this can't be 1 either. So in column 9, where can the 1 be? The 1 has to be in that cell. So this can't be 1, and it cannot be the home cell. This can't be the home cell anymore, so it can't be 5. This can't be 3. We have the home cells for this, so this can't be a home cell. This can't be a home cell. Okay, this has 19 difference between it. Oh, we actually don't know anything about 8 or 9. This is actually incorrect. This has to be 19, because 19 has to have 3 cells in between. It cannot be any of these. Oh, it also, box 9 has to have 2 home cells. And so therefore this has to be the home cell. So this is a home cell, which means neither of these could be the home cell. And so those just can't be there. So this is 7. This can't be 7. And it can't be 5 anymore, because this has to have a difference of 1. So this is 5. This is 8 in the home cell. There cannot be any more home cells here. This can't be 8 anymore, so that cannot be the home cell. This can't be 8. So one of these two is a home cell. One of these two is a home cell. Since one of these two has to be a home cell because of box 7, these two cannot be home cells. And therefore this is the only possibility to be a home cell, so that's 1. So this is not a home cell. This is. This then has to be the home cell, so it's a 5. This can't be 5 anymore. The only other possible home cell in box 5 is here, so this is 7 and a home cell. The only possible box, I guess it could be 4 or 6. So this would have to be 1, 3, 4 if it's here, so this can't be 8. We already have all the home cells. So this cannot be 8. So either this is 6 and that's 8, or this is 4 and this is 1, 3, 4. So either way, the 4 has to be in this box. Therefore, the 4 cannot be any of these. If this is 6, this is... Oh, wait, no. That's not right. If this is 4, okay, yeah. It cannot be 1, 2, 5, and it cannot be 1, 3, 4, so this cannot be. So this cannot be 4. This is not the home cell, therefore this is the home cell. And it's... There we go. This can't be the home cell, and it's 8. So this can't be 8. This can't be 8. We know the 8 has to be in between the 2 and the 3. In between the crust. Therefore, it has to be here. So this is 8. We have either 4, 7, 8, 9, or 5, 6, 8, 9. So this has to be... Okay, so 4, 7, 8, 9. So it cannot be 4. That can't be 4. So it cannot be 4, 7, 8, 9. So it has to be 5, 6, 8, 9. And this can't be 6. So this has to be the 6. This is 5, 6, 8, and 9. That adds up to 28. So then this is 7, 9, 5. This becomes a 1 and a 4. This can't be 7, so this has to be 3. This can't be 3, so this has to be 5. This can't be 5 or 7, so it's an 8. The 5 has to be one of these two. Yeah. So then we have a 3, 9 combination here. Does that add up? This should be 8, 19. So we have 2, 4, 5, and 8. 2 and 8 is 10, 4 and 5 is 9, so that adds up to 19. So yeah, that works. So 2, 4, 5, and 8. The 2 cannot be there. That can't be 5. These can't be 8. This can't be 5. So 2 is one of those two. So this adds up to 16 inside, right? If you have it could be 1, 2, 4, 9. That seems okay. Okay. Actually, yeah, it has to be 1, 2, 4, 9, right? Because we know what these digits add up to. It has to be 45 minus 16, which is 29. And right now we have 3, 5, 6, and 8. 3 and 8, so that's 22. And it must add up to 29. So then this has to be a 7. So this is 1, 2, 4, 9. These two are eliminated by 1 and 2. This 9 sees that, so that can't be 9. The 4 sees that, so this is 1, 2, and 3. So this can't be 3. This has to be 9. This has to be 3. This is 5 and 6. So this is 5 and this is 6. This is 2, 8, and 9. Let's just fill that out. The 7 has to be one of those two. That doesn't help though. Oh, 25. Okay, so 25 is in between here. 8 is already outside of it. If it's 25, we know the outside has to add up to 20, right? Because 45 minus 25 is 20. So these 5 have to add up to 20. We already have 11, so then the other two have to add up to 9. It cannot be 1, 8, it cannot be 2, 7. It could be 3, 6, or 4, 5. So if it's 3, but this can't be 3 and this can't be 3. So it cannot be 3, 6, it has to be 4 and 5. So this is 5, this is 4, which makes that a 9, which makes this 2, 5. This becomes a 4, 5, 4, 8 pair. This is the only place for 5. This can't be 2 or 9 anymore. The 4 has to be here. So this is 3 and 9. So this one has to be 3. That's a 9. This is 7 and 6. So that has to be 7. That's 6. We have 1, 4, and 9. This can't be 1 for either of these. Therefore, in row 5, this has to be the 1, which forces that to be 2, forces that to be 4. No 2 here. This becomes a 4, 9 pair. So this has to be 4. This is 9. So this can't be 9. Here we need a 7 for row 6, but it can only be here for row 4. So this becomes this has to be a 2 then. This becomes 3 and 6. This is 1, 3, and 8. So therefore this is an 8. This has to be 3. This is 1. This is 2. The 2 cannot be here. Okay, so the 2 can be here. Okay, let's look at this. This can be 2, 4, 6, and 9. We already have 2, 4, 9 here, so this is 6. We have 2, 4 here, then this has to be 9. So this has to be 8, then that's 9. We have 2 and 4 and 2 and 4. That can't be 4, so this is 2, this is 4, which forces that to be a 2. This becomes a 7, 8 pair, so this is 7, this is 8, this is a 4, this is an 8. This is 6 and 9, so this can't be 9, so this has to be 9. So this is 6, which forces that to be 3, 6, that's 1, that's a 3. This has to be 1, and this has to be 4. And that's the solution. Hope you enjoyed the solve. Very clever. I like this. I've done normal Sudokus, or sorry, normal sandwich Sudokus before, but this version with the home cell and the homemade crust is very interesting. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the soul, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.